What story do you want? I'll tell you a different one, but which one? The Pillow Man? Alright. I haven't told that one in a while. How does that start? Alright. Once upon a time, there was a man. And he wasn't like any ordinary man, no. He stood at over 9 feet tall. And he was made entirely out of pillows. His arms were pillows, his legs were pillows, his body was a pillow, his fingers and toes were tiny little pillows. Even his head was this big circular pillow. And on his head he had 2 button eyes and a big smiley mouth, always smiling so that he could show his teeth, which were also pillows. And you see, the Pillow Man had to look like this. He had to look soft and safe because the Pillow Man's job was a very sad and a very difficult one. You see, whenever a man or a woman was really, really sad and they'd led a horrible life and they just wanted to end it all, be it by gun or by razor or by gas or by whatever preferred method of alright, preferred's probably the wrong word. But as they were about to do it, the Pillow Man would come to them. And he'd sit with them, and he'd hold them, and he'd tell them, hold on a minute. And then time would slow. And things would go real strange. And the Pillow Man would go back in time to when that man or woman was just a little boy or a little girl, to when the life of torment that they had to lead had not yet begun. And the Pillow Man's job was to get that child to kill themselves so as to spare them the years of torment. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, but I've never heard of a child killing themselves. Well, the Pillow Man always made it look like a tragic accident. You know, he'd show them the bottle of pills that looked just like sweeties. He'd show them the thinnest point of ice on the river. He'd show them the most dangerous cars to dart in and out between. He'd show them how to put a plastic bag over their head and exactly how to tighten it. Because mummies and daddies always find it easier to come to terms with a 5-year-old who's lost in a tragic accident than they do with a 5-year-old who's realised how shitty life is and has taken measures to prevent it. Now, don't get me wrong. Not all the children went along with the Pillow Man, no. There was this one girl, a happy little thing. And no matter how hard the Pillow Man tried, no matter how awful he told her life would be, she just wouldn't take it. And so she sent the Pillow Man away. And that made him very, very sad. And the Pillow Man cried big, gloopy tears and left puddles this big. And the following night, a knock came to the little girl's door. And she called out, "Go away, Mr. Pillow Man. I'm happy. I've always been happy. I always will be happy." But it wasn't the Pillow Man. It was another man. And her mummy wasn't home. And this man would come to her every night that her mother wasn't home. And soon she became very, very sad. And as she sat in front of the oven at the age of 21, she asked the Pillow Man, "Why didn't you try and convince me?" And the Pillow Man replied, "Because you were always so happy." Yet as she turned the dial up as far as it would go, she said, "But I've never been happy. I've never been happy."